Welcome to Ælementz, your daily source of insights across finance, science, and beyond. Whether you're traveling, taking a lunchtime stroll, or simply relaxing at home, we're committed to providing new content every day, so join us to grow and learn while living your busy life. Today, we're going to explore UNESCO, an organization that focuses on education, science, culture, and communication to help people around the world live in peace and understanding. What is UNESCO? UNESCO stands for the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. It is part of the United Nations, and its main goal is to bring countries together to improve education, protect cultural and natural heritage, support scientific cooperation, and promote free and open communication. In simple terms, UNESCO tries to help everyone, no matter where they live, to have the chance to learn, appreciate their own culture and others, understand our planet's history, and share knowledge freely. This might sound like a big idea, but consider real-life examples. In some countries, children cannot go to school because their classrooms were destroyed by conflict or natural disasters. UNESCO might work with local communities and governments to rebuild those schools, provide training for teachers, and give children the chance to continue their education. In other places, precious historical sites or ancient languages are at risk of disappearing. UNESCO steps in to help protect a temple that has stood for 1,000 years or support a small community that wants to keep its old language alive for future generations. The history of UNESCO. UNESCO was founded in 1945, just after World War II ended. Many countries believed that building peace in people's minds was as important as signing peace treaties. Early on, UNESCO focused on projects like rebuilding libraries that had been bombed, training new teachers, and encouraging countries to share textbooks that were fair and not filled with hateful stereotypes. Over time, as the world changed, UNESCO expanded its work. In 1972, UNESCO introduced the World Heritage Convention, a famous agreement that helps identify and protect places with outstanding cultural or natural value. These can be ancient ruins, coral reefs, old forests, or historic towns. Because of UNESCO, a traveler in Italy can visit the ancient city of Pompeii and learn how people lived 2,000 years ago, while a family in Australia can appreciate the Great Barrier Reef, knowing that many countries care about keeping it healthy. Today, UNESCO still helps rebuild schools after earthquakes, like those in Haiti or Nepal. It supports scientists studying climate change and tries to keep traditional dances or crafts alive by listening to people in small villages. UNESCO's story is one of constant learning and adapting to new problems around the world. How does UNESCO choose World Heritage Sites? Countries must suggest places they believe are important for all of humanity. Experts then study these proposals. They ask, does this place show something unique about human history or nature's wonders? Is it well cared for? Can it be protected for future generations? For example, when Mexico proposed ancient Mayan cities, UNESCO's experts looked at the temples, artwork, and stories carved into stone walls. Finding them truly special, these sites were listed as World Heritage. Once a site is chosen, UNESCO gives advice on how to look after it. In many cases, local guides are trained to show visitors around carefully, so tourism doesn't harm the site. How does UNESCO help after a disaster? When a natural disaster, like a flood or earthquake, strikes a region, not only are homes and roads damaged, but schools, museums, and libraries can be destroyed too. UNESCO works with local authorities to rebuild these important community spaces. For example, after the earthquake in Haiti in 2010, UNESCO supported the restoration of schools and helped preserve old documents and books that recorded the nation's history. By doing this, UNESCO makes sure that people don't lose their chance to learn or their connection to their cultural identity, even after a tragedy. Does UNESCO help everyone get education? UNESCO strongly believes that education should be available to all children and adults. In some parts of the world, girls face barriers to attending school. UNESCO may run programs that encourage families to send their daughters to classes by providing scholarships or building safe, welcoming classrooms. In other places, children speak a local language at home, but the school uses a different language. UNESCO can guide teachers on how to use both languages, so students do not feel lost. In this way, UNESCO tries to ensure everyone, no matter their background, can learn and improve their lives. How does UNESCO protect cultural traditions? Not all heritage is made of stone or brick. A culture can also be kept alive through stories, songs, dances, or traditional crafts. UNESCO listens to communities that worry their old customs might disappear as young people move to cities or spend more time online. By recording these traditions, helping create workshops to teach younger generations, and sometimes granting special recognition to these practices, UNESCO encourages people to keep their traditions alive and valued. For instance, in Japan, the traditional art of making paper by hand is recognized, so artisans can pass on their skills and support themselves by selling beautiful handmade paper. UNESCO's role in saving Mali's manuscripts. In Timbuktu, Mali, ancient manuscripts hold centuries of knowledge about science, religion, and history. When these documents were threatened by conflict, local people risked their lives to hide them in boxes and carry them to safety. UNESCO helped restore and digitize many of these manuscripts, allowing future generations to read and learn from these old texts, whether they are in Mali or studying overseas on a computer screen. Bringing back a language in Chile. In Chile, a community spoke a language that was dying out, as fewer and fewer young people learned it. UNESCO supported language experts, teachers, and community elders to work together. They recorded stories told by grandmothers and wrote simple children's books in that language. Little by little, children started to read and speak it again. Now, what was once fading away can be heard in classrooms and homes, keeping an important piece of the community's identity alive. Saving underwater heritage. Heritage isn't only found on land. Sometimes it lies beneath the waves. UNESCO helps protect underwater cultural heritage, like sunken ships or old cities swallowed by the ocean over centuries. In the Caribbean, for example, UNESCO supported local divers and researchers who study these submerged sites. By doing so, it not only preserves history, but also trains local people in research skills, helping them tell their region's story to tourists and students eager to learn more. UNESCO's work might not always appear on the evening news or in social media headlines. It's often slow and careful, like building trust in a village, training teachers to respect cultural differences in a classroom, or helping a family restore their damaged library after a storm. But over time, these quiet efforts add up. They make it possible for children in remote areas to read their first book, for old languages to find new voices, and for a traveler to stand before an ancient temple and understand what it meant to people hundreds of years ago. What do you think about UNESCO's work? Have you ever visited a place that UNESCO has helped to preserve, or heard about a community project it supported? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being here. If you find this helpful, consider subscribing. More content is on the way, and I hope to see you again.